Did you feel bad for Amina at some point? Like, I mean, the fact that she went through an abortion, especially a public one at that. Like, did you feel any emotions towards that, or?
I mean, when it comes to abortions, you know, a woman has to decide what she needs to do and not do with her body, you know? And unfortunately, it's just one of those things that no one has the right to dictate. A woman says, I'm going to have my baby, fuck you, or I'm going to have my baby and we're going to make it work. So if she made that choice, that was her choice. Yeah. That's her body and it's her choice. No one can make you do anything. So I don't feel bad for her. You know, I feel that she made the decision that was right for her in that moment. Mm-hmm. So that's how I feel about that. So I didn't really feel bad.
How did you feel when when she announced for the second time on the reunion show?
You know what my issue sometimes on the show is, like, I always have to find something out with a camera in my face. And people are like, why is she so mad? It's just always with the camera in my face I find out information. And in lieu of that, I didn't do that to her. You know, I think that it's important that, you know, you have to deal with the person that did all of this. Yeah. So that's what the world doesn't see, is how I deal with Peter outside of the cameras or outside of it. You know, I have to explain this to you in the best way possible. I can't come in here yelling and screaming about the things I said to Peter, because I'm explaining it to you. But it's not like he just comes and kicks his feet up in my house and we're having a good time because we're good because I'm so understanding. No, it's a lot of stress that has gone on between the two of us. And you know, this moment where I chose to be with him again is not a reflection of the fact that you still did some things to hurt me and I still chose to move on from it.
Yeah. On VH1, they had, like, I guess a segment before you guys taped the reunion show, and it was people, like, defining what a side chick meant.
Right.
So that being said, now people are flipping it and they're calling you the side chick, right? Because you don't have the ring. How do you feel about that?
I think that's crazy, because what do you call the fact that we lived together the entire first year of his marriage? And she knew that he still lived at home, and she still knew that he lived at home the day she married him. And he even said last season that, you know, I married Amina that day and I was home with Tara by night. So I don't know how people expect these rules to, whatever society has just, you know, defined as what these terms mean. Mm-hmm. Every individual situation has its own set of rules. It's like what works in my household may not work in your household. So that just does not apply to me. Yeah. When you choose to I don't care if he's acting however or whatever he's acting, you knew very much so that he and I still lived together. And if it were that over, it shouldn't be no problem in saying, well, Tara, I met this wonderful girl down in the village and she and I are getting married, so I'm leaving. Mm-hmm. You know, this was a huge secret to me, and we were still living together. Yeah. So, I mean, and she chose to enter that. She chose to enter the relationship under that umbrella. So you have to be willing to deal with the fact that there's a woman who still had feelings also. Yeah. And it's not just about, oh, Peter. It's about, I have feelings too. It's about me. Uh-huh. And this past year, it was about dealing with me. And in dealing with me, I got pregnant.
And then, well, now dealing with that, like, you're not only yourself, but you're dealing with a bunch of people pointing fingers at you, even your castmates. Like, you know, Cardi B took it to heart. And I kind of, like, it didn't seem like she was attacking you and Amina, but, you know, how did you feel about her saying that, you know, literally he's making you guys look dumb on TV?
I mean, that's her opinion. I'm not angry at someone's opinion. You know, I can't say that it doesn't look crazy. The situation does look crazy, absolutely. And so the one great thing about all of that is before that energy could go anywhere, they apologized to each other. And that's where, sometimes we don't ever really see that part of it. We just see the height of it and where someone's upset and where they have an argument. But it's the reunion. The energy's high. Yeah. People have feelings. They have a right to have their feelings and opinions. But those two were able to, before we even left that room, to apologize to each other. And that was the most beautiful part about all of that.
Did you, Charlemagne the God calls Peter Polygamy Peter.
And, well, it's funny because, what's crazy about that is because it just looks like we're always dealing with each other, which I haven't. And that's what makes it so crazy. And so even when Peter did that interview, I actually listened to it and I was just kind of like, oh, really? You're just making it look like everybody knows about each other and we're just like house swapping. I'm like, you need to be honest about the crap that you tell to make people believe or the things that you do to make someone believe, these things, or why a woman would say or do whatever she's doing. It's not like he's just like, okay, Monday night is, your night, and Tuesday night's Amina's night, and we're like, oh, that's cool. It's because, and maybe that's why, there's like some type of, my anger my anger is not even toward Amina in the sense that, it's like, well, why are you so mad at her? That's his wife, or whatever. My anger is you were very much so a part of this stuff that happened, an active part. So you now cannot be mad and upset. Yeah. You have to be able to drink the same thing you gave someone else to drink. Yeah. And it's not out of spite. It's the fact that, or this craziness, 13 years doesn't matter. It does matter. It really, really does matter, especially if it weren't over. It doesn't matter if we were over and I'm like, okay, she entered this and we were completely done. It absolutely 100% matters when you knew that we were in the middle of a relationship. Yeah. Or something didn't add up. So it does matter.
Now, a lot of people question, how is he providing for everyone financially?
The great thing about Peter is Peter will give you the last penny in his pocket. And I've never had an issue with him financially. We always find a way to make it work, and I'm very understanding in the fact that he had children before he had children. So, when you go into situations, you have to go in knowing what you're getting yourself into and where you can push the envelope and where you can't. And when Peter is making money, then Peter's giving his last to every single child he has. He's putting money in every single household. Mm-hmm. And, Peter drove his '89 Mitsubishi for the last 3-4 years. He didn't just go out and buy a new car when it's like, okay, you know what, we are making money, but this is what I need to do, and he prioritized that, and that's what it was.
How did you feel when Cardi B was just trying to, attack his character as far as all he gives you guys is just babies? I feel like as women... Well, I
think that was the height of the argument, you know what I mean? And when you're arguing, you're just throwing jabs, you know what I mean? They were both throwing jabs at each other.
So. You didn't take it personally?
No, I didn't take it personally. I mean, listen, a lot of women could possibly feel like that because they don't know, But again, the most important part about that entire thing is that they apologized to each other. She said, I really don't know you like that to have said those things. And he said, you know what, you are my daughter's age. I have no right arguing with you like that. And that was the end of it. Mm-hmm. I didn't take it personally. It was the height of an argument. And I like Cardi, and I'm very close with her management. So... it was just an argument they had, and they got over it.
Do you think Amina decided to have one more child just so she could be the last one? Because that was the thing on Twitter. People are saying she's...
Well, people are saying this last one. When I got pregnant, there was no vasectomy in the future. There was no conversation of vasectomy. There was no conversation of this is my last child. It's just I'm pregnant and we have to deal with it. So it was no, oh, I'm having the last. I don't know what the prize is in having the last child. I mean, an extra box of diapers. I don't get it. Did I win a raffle? I don't understand. I mean, there's stress in itself. Peter has a lot of children, and that's again that's what my concern was. There's more stress. There's not only stress for Peter, but there's stress for me too. I have to now figure out how I'm going to manage 3 children that are all 4 years apart, and they're at all different stages, and how I'm going to be a great mom in doing that. Yeah. So, but now in lieu of all of that, if you have terminated a pregnancy because you didn't feel it was right before you even knew I was pregnant, what makes it right after now I'm pregnant? So it's kind of maybe in some way, and I have to word this as friendly as I can, this help her see that if I'm pregnant, it's about how I feel and what I should do. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't terminate a pregnancy because he has too many children, or I shouldn't terminate a pregnancy. You have to do what's right for you. Yeah. And so maybe, me going through with this and all the flack that I've gotten gave her the courage to go through with what she did.
Mm-hmm. When I was watching it and you revealed that you were pregnant, as a fan watching the show, she's like, no. Right. I'm I was hoping you would it would be the season where you find love, what I mean? Right.
Me too. I thought that I definitely thought that going into the season. This was going to be my season.
You found a new
love
though. I mean, in Gunner.
I know I did. Yeah, absolutely. And well, you know what? It wasn't again, it was very stressful. I can't say that I called my dad and he was happy about it. My dad was very upset about it, So it wasn't like I didn't have my own things to deal with and telling my family, that you know, even though this guy has been so crazy and you guys are all happy that we're not together anymore because he did something so crazy, this is where we are now. So it wasn't like, you know, I had to deal with all of that.
Yeah.
So I really could care less about what the world thought. I really cared about what my father thought. My father and I are very close. What my aunts thought, you know, my family and I are very close. So it was, you know, how are they going to feel? But let me tell you, my aunts were like, listen, you weren't the first, you're not going to be last. So every negative person in your life, get them out right now. You're going to have this baby and you're going to be fine. So when I got that encouragement from home, and the fact that I had just told my children also, and they were fine, and my mom was like, what? And I was like, yes, I'm pregnant. And she was like, let me call you back. So when she called me back, she was like, okay, so how you feeling? So I was like, you go deal with that. Talk to your pastor. This is the information. And when they called me back and it was like, you know what, you got this. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
And so I just moved on from it. And I could really care less about, you know, what other people think that aren't in the situation.
Do you see love in your future, like with another man?
I always see love in my future, despite what the world thinks. I really do. I still believe in love. I still believe in falling in love. I am, you know, I will always believe in that. You know, I think that, you know, it's sad how this ended because there was a lot of love between Peter and I. So it's really sad, and that's another part that we don't really get. And then because it's always just about him and him, you know, juggling these two women.
Yeah.
Bull crap. And so I definitely see love in my future.
That's so not accurate, Black. That's beyond not accurate.
It's so accurate.
It's not.
It's completely
like,
true.
Nas
all you Nas fans could sit there and hate me and talk a bunch of shit, which they did when I went on Twitter.
This is really my first time really talking with me, and basically told me like, you know, he didn't appreciate the letter that I dropped, and it made him seem like he was a liar or whatnot, and they fucking stole off on me in the Nike store